simple, explicit show where we do strictly the exegesis of the language called English. Now, in our last episode, we started looking at the basic principles of English language. Now, we did the first one, which is word order. I took time to explain to you what word order simply means. Now, without much ado today, we're going to look at the second principle, which is punctuation marks. Punctuation marks are very important element in English language. But before I go into analyzing few of the punctuation marks, you have the basic ones. I will first and foremost tell you what punctuation marks generally means. Punctuation marks are the basic symbols and signs that direct both the spoken and written English language, the pattern, the way the English, our spoken English and the written English will go. That's what punctuation marks are. Now, English language, just like any other language out there, has two types. The two types of every language, including English language, are the spoken and the written. Most people major or focus more on the spoken aspect of it, leaving the written aspect of it, while some others focus more on the written aspect of it, leaving the spoken aspect of it. But one thing I will tell you today, this teaching is that both are very important. The both types are very important. Now, the punctuation marks play very vital roles in what directing the movement of our spoken English, directing the movement of our written English. And that is why when we take time to look at the basic ones, the most common ones, two of them, that is the full stop and the comma. The full stop and the comma are the most common punctuation marks that are used virtually every day in our spoken English and in our written English. And the reason why they are also the most common is because they command the intonation of our voices. They have a lot to do with the intonation of our voices. Now, what is the full stop? The full stop tells you when to end a statement. It tells you that, okay, this statement has ended. So, if you are making a statement, once you get to the full stop, you land. It's just like an aircraft that is flying. When it is time for the aircraft to land, it comes down. That's what the full stop does. So when you are speaking or writing, once you are seeing that sign, the full stop, it's telling you that, oh, this statement is coming to an end. Your sentence is coming to an end. So there's no way for you to write your intonation. You drop your intonation, you calm down. That is what the full stop does. The full stop also is used to indicate figures. For example, in arithmetic, when you are enumerating articles, you are using numbers, you can also use what the full stop word to indicate. Just place it by the side of each figure as you are enumerating or listing your items. That is another thing that the full stop does. But basically, the full stop is used to end statement. That is the sign. That is what it means. It's just like a dot. Everyone knows what the full stop is, or most people know what the full stop is. Now, the second one is the comma. What is the comma used for? The comma simply means a right tone. It tells you that, okay, this statement you're making, once you get to where the comma is, you don't have to drop your intonation. You have to rise your intonation. You have to take it up. If you observe these two basic or most common punctuation marks, the full stop and the comma, you'll be playing the music of the language. It's unfortunate that so many people don't actually play the music of the language. Someone has asked me, a few years ago, that does English language have music, or does English language play music? Yes, English language has music. English language plays music. When you are observing the punctuation marks appropriately, most especially the comma and the full stop that have so much to do with our intonation, you are playing the music of the language. Africans, most especially, speak flat. They sound flat when they are communicating using English language. It's supposed to be so. Let me give you these few examples. In Nigeria, for example, we say good morning. Everything is flat. Or let me say in Africa, good morning. Good morning. It doesn't supposed to be good morning. That is flat. You're sounding flat. You are not playing the music of the language. This is how it goes. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. You are playing the music of it's just a short statement, but still you have played the music of the language. Good morning, man. Good morning, sir. But now, let me just speak a longer statement that I'll divide into two to have the comma and the full stop. Good morning, sir. How are you? This is the full stop, not exactly the full stop, but the question mark, which we are going to go into another time. But still, there is a division in that statement. Good morning, sir. How are you? There is a drop. The first aspect of it, you rose in your intonation, and then the second aspect of it, you drop in English language. They're basically direct, are spoken and written English. One tells you to rise, the intonation, the tone of your voice while you're speaking, and the other one, which is the full stop, tells you to drop the tone of your voice when you speak. Even when you're writing, you have to also observe all this. You have to observe these two punctuation marks. They are very important. It's unfortunate some many people write without even knowing where to place the full stop, where to place the comma, so they just write straight. And some people too, when they are speaking, they don't even know where to place the comma, where to place the full stop. They feel because it's a spoken English is a spoken type, they don't have to worry about the punctuation marks. They don't have to worry about where the comma should be or where the full stop should be. But if you're an intellectual person, grammatically intellectual person, you should know that even while you are speaking, you should still observe these punctuation marks, most especially these two that we are looking at today, the full stop and the comma. Remember, I told you from the beginning of this lesson that the comma is used to rise your tone when you are speaking. It is a rise tone. So when you are speaking or when you write or you are reading and you are seeing the comma coming forth, you should know that once you get there, you will direct the tone of your voice to go up. You rise your intonation. And then when you are seeing the full stop coming forth too, what it's telling you is that, oh, this statement is about to end. So once you get it, you drop your intonation. So these are basically the functions of these two most commonly used punctuation marks, the comma and the full stop. They direct our intonation. They make us to play the music of the language. Learn to play the music of the language. Learn to speak and let people want to listen to you over and over again by what? Maximizing these two punctuation marks, the full stop and the comma. Whether you are speaking or you are writing, it doesn't matter which type you're using. What matters is that these two most commonly used punctuation marks must be observed. Now, this is where we are going to stop. Remember, from the onset of this episode, I told you that we're going to look at just the two most commonly used of our punctuation marks we have in English language. So, the full stop and the comma. In our next episode, we are going to teach you how the remaining punctuation marks we have. For now, make sure you maximize this lesson. Make sure you use this lesson very well. Listen to this video, watch this video, and maximize the teaching. Practice the teaching, practice everything that I have brought to your notification today. Another thing I want to say now is don't forget to like, share, and drop your comment. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I remain your host, Richard. Thank you and have a beautiful